Now, let's talk about something very important, which is paisa, money. So, did you have the fear as well? Like, did you have doubt? Like, a lot of people have this doubt, like, what if things don't work out? Like, and I don't know if you took the loan. We're going to get to that part. Let's talk about profile because everyone likes to know. Like, so what was your GRE score, TOEFL score, IELTS, if that's what you did, and your bachelor's as well? All right. Welcome back, Shai. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm excited. Today, we are going to explore the life of Sai at UConn. How did it happen from the inception that you decided you want to do masters and the finishing the masters, and obviously now you're the lead data analyst. So for people who might have not watched our first part of the video, let's do a quick intro, like where are you from, what do you do, and fun stuff.
Yep. I'm from Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, and then I have done my bachelor's in electrical. And then right after my bachelor's, I moved to United States to pursue my master's at UConn. And then my major was data science. And then I started working as lead data analyst at Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina. And then it's my 4th month right now.
Nice. And for people, for the context, in our last video we talk about how he moved his background from electrical to becoming a data analyst, and so link is in the description. You should go check it out. Plus, Sai is also making content on LinkedIn and talking about those stuff as well, so you should check that out as well. But let's talk about why did you decide, like you were doing your bachelor's, at some point you are like, okay, I want to do masters. Why did you decide, like what was your thought process that you want to do masters?
Yeah, like most of the people, like I wanted to study abroad and then work abroad, and then I wanted to have an experience. And then during my second year of my bachelor's, I decided that I would be doing I want to do some higher studies. So I was confused between MTech or MS. But my thought was like, first I'll do masters or MTech in electrical. Then later on, I started researching about opportunities after MTech and opportunities after masters. Then I found that like masters was more, how do I say it? Like it has more opportunities to get, like it has more opportunities when compared to MTech. So I decided to do masters in electrical at first. And then like later on during my 3rd year and 4th year, I had some electives related to data analysis, which was SQL. And then I had a machine learning course too. That's how I got introduced to this data world. And then I got intrigued by a lot of those, and then I started researching on them. Then I was very good at math, like from my young age. So I thought I'll give it a try. So I started researching more on it, like took some courses apart from my bachelor courses. And then I thought I'll do it. And then I started researching about everything, and then I started my master's.
Nice. So obviously you made a decision that I want to do masters based on that. Why did you decide to do it in United States though? Why not Canada, UK, Australia? Like why USA?
Yeah. My first instinct was to go to United Kingdom because it was like 8-hour flights from India. So I thought I'll not miss my family and friends. But then after doing lots of research, and I thought like opportunities, like there are only 5 states in UK, and then the visa rules are not similar to United States. So, and then Australia was not at all in my list. And then coming to Canada, the temperatures were very harsh. Coming from Andhra, it's a very hot year. And then I thought I couldn't handle the negative temperatures in Canada. So like all together, and then it's a huge one-time investment. So I thought USA is a good point to start my like higher studies.
Nice. Okay. And so obviously you knew the tech world is booming in United States, and that's where the opportunities are. You decided that you want to do it. US is my country. That's where I want to go. Now comes the part where sometimes, like a lot of times, where you have to convince your parents, like, hey, I want to leave this country. I'm going to be not with you guys. And, so like, how did you had to convince your parents, or your parents is like, Ja Simran Ja?
And no. So this is something funny. My parents knew that I would go to, I would leave India when I was born because of the stars and something. But then they weren't happy, and until like they didn't say me until I got into my bachelor's. And then once I got into my bachelor's, I started getting started doing some research, and I thought I'll go to master's. And then like day by day I was telling them that I want to do master's, and then like slowly I was getting that my thought into their minds, and then eventually that they understood that he wants to do master's. And then like they wanted to send me, but then deep inside, like every parent, like every mom and dad, they would miss us. So my mom was very sad because I mean like you will be coming only once in a year.
And I mean, obviously, those were some of your parents' fear, but like, did you have the fear as well? Like, did you have doubt? Like, a lot of people have this doubt, like, what if things don't work out? Like, and I don't know if you took the loan, we're gonna get to that part. Like, but like, I'm investing so much money. What if this doesn't work out? And like, did you have those fear? Especially you're like switching from electrical to data science field, right? So, did you have those fears, or you were very confident, like, I know what I'm doing?
No, no, no. Like I had some basic fears. Like so coming to the money part, like I took a loan. So I had the doubt, like, would I get a job once I graduate? So that was the one of my biggest fears. And then would I survive in United States? And then all these years until my 12th, I was at home. And then during my PTech, I wasn't going out much. So I was all alone, or like, mostly I was like an introvert thing. So I thought, like, would I survive in a like all different country within like with all new people coming from different parts of the world with different cultures? And then I was very bad at cooking. Like and then I don't eat much vegetables or fruits. So all these concerns like made me think like, is it worth it or not? And then once I thought about my career, like I need to take risk at some point. Let it be at the younger age, like than to take risk at in late 30s or early 30s. I thought I'll risk it at early 20s. I was 20 when I had this plan. So I was like, let me risk now. So I took the chance, and then I told my parents, like, this is what my plan is. This is what I'll be switching my career. And this is what my plan is after going to United States once I graduate. And this is when I'll come back from United States to India.
And do you think that helped ease a little bit to your parents and to yourself? Like, I have a plan. And so would you also recommend students that they should have like a clear picture before they decide, like, okay, I'm just gonna go?
Yeah, it's good to have a clear picture, but then I'm sure it will change once they come to United States and meet new people, and then once they see the real American job market, and then the opportunities or the education style will be very different. We should be flexible and adaptable to anything that comes up.
Yeah. What let's talk about profile, because everyone likes to know, like, so what was your GRE score, TOEFL score, IELTS, if that's what you did, and your bachelor's as well?
Yep, my bachelor's, my GPA was 9.1, and then coming to my IELTS, I had a 7.5, and then my GRE was 329. Math was 169, and then verbal was 160 with an hour score of 4.5. And then this is my profile before I came to United States.
Right. And you obviously didn't have any work experience, so that wasn't part of your profile. So so obviously, like, the scores were really great. And I would be actually, I don't know, I mean, this probably is not planned, but I would be interested to see your statement of purpose. Like, how did you convince universities? But before we get there, what all universities did you apply to, and how did you think about applying to those universities? Because there's like thousands of universities. So why did you apply to only those? So let's talk about those.
Yeah, first thing I had in my mind was I wanted to be near New York City or California, because those were the hubs for startups or like a lot of tech companies, where they were like headquarters or like top companies, or any company. Most of them were into West or into East. So, and then like there's Texas in the middle. Like I sorted down only these three parts, like West, East, or Central. And then I found some good universities which accepts applications for freshers, because some of the admission universities, they will not accept people without experience. So I had to drill down to universities who accepts freshers, and then in the field of data science and business analytics. So I sorted down some universities, like UConn was one of them, which like this university was accepting freshers also. And then I applied to Yudi, and then I applied to San Francisco State University, and then Arizona State University, and then I applied to Northeastern University, and then Penn State University. So I had applied to like University of South Florida also, because they had nice curriculum for business analytics. I applied to around 7 universities.
Okay, and so again, breaking down your list, obviously you had like East Coast, you also had California, but then you had like Arizona. Like sounds like a yes. You probably went what the
Yeah.
branding of it. USF, obviously their coursework is very well known in terms of Florida and business analytics course. I think, and it's also in the bigger city like Tampa, so that's good. Pennsylvania State University, obviously the brand itself is good. So I see the pattern that you saw. Uh, did you apply to the same major or similar major? Like because I think not all of them you went for data science. Some of them
Yeah.
sounds like business analytics, and some of them were different.
Yeah, for Pennsylvania and the Northeastern applied for computer science because I see that they have a data science major that I can take later on. So concentration, something like that. So for Pennsylvania and Northeastern, it was computer science, and then for USF and UConn it
Mm.
was business analytics, and then for UTD and others it was data science with like business analytics with data science concentration. So mostly it was data based, but then for PSU and Northeastern uh, with computer science.
Okay. Did any of them had prerequisite because you're coming from electronics background?
Yeah, that's one of the problems I faced. I got admits from all of them except USF because they wanted 2 years of work experience. I knew I would get rejected, but then I just wanted to give it a try because I had good scores. But then I got rejected, so I was fine with it. Coming to Northeastern and PSU, they gave me admits, but what happened to Pennsylvania was they gave me admit for next semester. So I had to drop it down. Coming to
Mm.
Northeastern, they gave me admit for computer science, but then they gave me some prerequisites. So it
Mm.
would I had to do around 55 credits or 54 credits, and then
Wow.
it's a 3-year program. So I was
Yeah.
like, not gonna happen. So I ruled out Northeastern also, and then I was left with UConn, UTD, and then I got from ASU, and then from one of the universities applied in California. So I was left with 4 admits, 4 perfect
Mm.
admits. Yeah,
Nice. Okay. For perfect admit, which does not have a prerequisite. And I think all of them were around analytics course, data
yeah,
science or business analytics, all of them. And since you were clear that you wanted to get into data science field, that you saw the coursework, etc. Now comes the part where you had to make a decision of out of four, you have to choose one. On what basis you decided UConn? Because like you obviously chose UConn. So what was it that
yeah.
you liked most about that?
So coming from electrical background, I wanted to learn more in data science because it's a transition. So I didn't want to limit myself to learning less. So you can add 37 credits course, and then the rest of the colleges I had were like only 30 credit course. And then there's more learning here. That's one of the reasons. And then another reason was the one admit I had was UTD, which is in Texas. I didn't want to go to Texas because like there are a lot of Indians. I wanted diversity, and then I wanted to be around people who are from America or like different parts of the world so that I can learn something new. I could see people from different cultures. So I rolled out UTD from that list. So I was left with uh, UConn and then San Francisco State University. And then San Francisco State University, the fees was very less, but then the course was not as good as UConn Business Analytics. And
Mm.
then UConn is like 20 miles from New York City, and then like 2 hours from Boston, and then like all the tech hubs and then everything. UConn had a good reputation around the northeast part, like in Connecticut or like Massachusetts or New York and New Jersey, and then it had good name, and then the professors I had reached out to them before joining, so they replied to me, and then we had some initial calls so that I could understand what they're expecting. I connect with some of the seniors from both the universities, and then I thought UConn is a good university for my profile, like because when I see the percentage of people without experience in UConn, it's good too, because and then I thought I'll get some peers within my age, and then there are a lot of experienced people too, because this comes with project management also. So there are two things: business analytics and project management. So I learned experience. Like there will be a lot of people who are experienced, and it's a business program. It's in
Mm.
business school. So
Mm.
I chose UConn over the other three colleges.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things I want to talk about is so you explained the process of shortlisting it and then choosing out of the shortlisted universities, choosing one of them. But I think there's a lot of research went behind that, right? Like, so you, what did your day look like when you were researching this? Like, how did you research it? Like, was it through just online videos, or you actually reached out to people? And obviously some portion of it was online, just reading the coursework and understanding that, but some might be reaching out to seniors and alumni. And how did you did the research part?
Yeah, coming to alumni part, like I wasn't much connected with my Amrita seniors, so I didn't know how to reach out to them. And then I was an introvert, as I mentioned, so I didn't take the alumni. I didn't get much help from the alumni part. So and then my dad's friends' sons, they were settled in United States, so I had some talks with them. And then obviously Google and YouTube were my gurus back then. Like I would go on YouTube, say, and then that's how I found you. And then like not me, I think most of us know you from YouTube. So I watched a lot of videos from lots of channels, and then I made a plan, like where to start, where to end, what to do, and then noted down everything, like what exams should I take, and then what certificates do I need, and then I started applying for those certificates to my university, and then they used to courier me, and then like all these bank certificates, financials, and everything, like academics to financials, and then flight tickets, where to find WhatsApp groups, where to find people who wants to help, and then I made like list of resources that I could use to sort down the all the lists and everything. So like YouTube and then my dad's friends.
Yeah, and you mentioned reaching out to professors. So was that after you have made a decision of UConn, or was that before? Like that was part of the decision making as well?
No, I mean like that was part of the decision making, but then I reached out to professors after getting admit. I didn't want to reach
Right.
out
Yeah.
before
Of
getting
course.
admit.
Yeah.
So I reached out to some of the professors after getting admits in all the universities, and then I had some 15 minutes calls with different professors from different departments from different universities. So I thought it'll be easy
How
to.
did you, like, what did you tell them that, hey, I got an admit and I want to understand, can you get on a call with me? Is that what
Yeah,
did you say?
similar to it with like I have expanded, like saying that I have this course in my bachelor's, and then I have done this electives like SQL and machine learning that I have mentioned, and then I have done some Udemy courses out of my interest because I wanted to explore more and then get to know in this field. And then I have applied to this university, and then I got the admit. So I thought I could I mean I'll know what I need to prepare before coming to United States or before starting the course, and then your guidance would help me a lot. So like some of them reply, like 2 professors replied from UConn, and then like from other universities, like 1 or 2 or 3 professors replied. And then I scheduled a call with them. We are like 10 to 15 minutes calls. I didn't want to take more of their time because like their time is valuable. So I got some clarity on how their coursework is gonna be in particular, and then like how the United States life is, how I should be prepared, or like what else I need to do before coming to United States, and then starting the course.
Nice. Yeah, I like it. I love the approach you took. And obviously, this is what I wanted people to get out of this, is that, you have to do this research and don't just rely on like consultant. Did you go to consultant?
No,
Everything by
everything was.
yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So again, great job. So now let's talk about the details, like the application process. When, and timeline wise, when did you start, and like what all things did you need it for the application process? Assuming it's the same, but like let's just walk through all the things. I'm assuming it's gonna need SOP, letter of recommendation, transcripts, and all of those things, which are like very common. Was there anything else? I know some universities do video
Yeah.
interviews.
So I graduated from my bachelor's in August 21. So if I go in August 21, and then I'll be graduating in, let's say 2 years, I'll be graduating in May 23. But then because I'm transitioning from my electrical to data science, I didn't want to like, go in a hurry manner. So I thought I'll take 3 months off and then go in spring. So I thought I'll research on what needs to be done instead going to United States and struggling there. So as I mentioned, like did some Udemy courses, and then I even because of the COVID, I wasn't ready with all the SOPs also. And then like SOPs and LOR. And the exams, I was ready with all this course, but then I thought I was doing some courses and then I was in the middle of that, so I didn't want to risk it. So I took like 3 months break. Like usually fall starts in September and then spring starts in Jan. It's like 3 months difference. So I took my time to like prepare myself because of career transition, and then because of the flights and everything, it got delayed too. So that's how like, my timeline is like
Yeah,
for
so you
the
went in
Jan.
January, and when did you apply for that?
Yeah, I started applying from June 21. Yeah, it like 5 to 6 months before. And then
Okay.
for the exam preparations, like for math, I didn't have to prepare much because like I have written CAT and other exams and then SNAP. So like I was very pretty good at math. And then I had to just prepare for verbal for CRE and then IELTS. So IELTS was pretty easy. Like if you have like basic knowledge of like what to do and then like how to read and write. So those exams were like very like I didn't have much difficulty in preparing for those. So it took me around 1 month to prepare for the exams, and then I was done with the exams by end of the July. And then while preparing for my exams, I asked my professors at Amrita to give me some like letter of recommendations. So I got the LORs by the time I completed my exams. And then once I got my LORs and then done with my exams, I started working on my SOP. It took me around 15 days or 20 days to get my SOP done. So by August first week or second week, like I had everything I wanted, and then I got my transcripts from my university also. So within 10 days, I applied to all these 7 universities because I had sorted down already during my prep. Like had did some research on which courses to do. I mean, which universities to apply for, which courses to apply, and then like all the amounts noted down, and then like I was ready with the money too. I told my dad that I need this much amount of money, so I was ready with everything by August first week, and then I applied to everything by third week max.
Okay, so you applied roughly around August timeframe,
Yeah,
and then you started getting admits roughly September-ish, October-ish.
yeah. Some of them I got like UConn has this like you will get accepted or rejected within 2 weeks mostly. For most of us who studied at UConn, we got accepted or rejected within like 1 week or 2 weeks max. For the other universities, UTD took around 1 month, and then rest of them took like 15 days, some of them, and then 2 months and 3 months. So it was depend on the university rather than like and the course and the competition also, because of the COVID guidelines and COVID rules. Some of them they were like still deciding, and then about the flights, should we go or not, and then from the United States perspective, should we take or not. So it was all confusing at that time.
Yeah, right. And obviously, and so you went through it, and you got a lot of admits. I would be curious to see your SOP. I don't know if you have it handy already, but if you do,
I
be
have it. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, for
Like
audience like this was not planned. It's like I'm just thinking. I was
yeah.
like, oh, it'll be cool if we can show it. All right, we get to see the real deal.
Yeah.
Also, just telling people you should not copy paste this. Make your own thing. But go ahead. Like, what was your thought process designing this SOP?
Yeah, first para was I would talk about like what's like what I want to do, and then like why I want to pursue masters in business analytics at UConn. And then my second para, and then I started talking about my coursework back in Amrita, like what I had done, and then what was Amrita, like it was ranked fourth by NARF, and then what all I learned related to electrical, my stream, which was electrical, and I mentioned I learned power electronics and everything, and then I also got introduced to technologies like machine learning, and then that's I got some interest into data science. And then I mentioned because math is very important in data science, so I included saying that I had O grade in all these courses, like which are important in data science, like linear algebra, calculus, statistics, and probability. So that would add a lot of weightage to my profile because math is very important in data science. So then I mentioned that I have fulfilled the required math coursework for masters. And then I moved on to concepts that I'd learned in machine learning, and then my CGPA. And then I was awarded distinction for the same by the university because like they awarded a distinction for top 5 people in the university for every department.
Nice.
And then I had published a paper during my undergrad, which was based on electric vehicles, and then it got published to IEEE. We got to present to the people at IEEE, and then I also published a paper related to uh, deep learning when I was doing my preparation for getting into university. So I thought I wanted to stand out. So I did a project and then I wrote a paper and then I submitted to this IRJ METS. So they liked
Mm.
it and then they accepted that publication too. So I had two publications at that time. One was related to electrical, one was related to deep learning.
Mm.
And then started to explain about my projects that I have done back in the field of electrical and electronics. Then I moved to projects that I have done in the machine learning. So like movie revenue prediction system, and then like which is very like EDA is very important in every data science project, like every machine learning project. Mention that I built a model, and then what tools or models did I use, and then mention that I used Python and SQL, machine learning and everything. And then coming to business analytics. So these are the basic skills that every role requires, like SQL, Power BI, and Tableau. Yeah, this was another project that I did using deep learning technique. I mentioned it here, which was like uh, text transition model
And
to
so
translate.
all these projects did you do while doing your bachelor's
Yeah,
or okay?
not while
Got it.
doing bachelor's. Once I in the final semester of my bachelor's, because since I was transitioning, getting like say if I had a pure electrical background and then if I was applying for business analytics role in some of the universities, they wouldn't accept me because like my profile would be focused on purely electrical. Like there's nothing for them to accept me, and then there's nothing that they can show that I'm interested or passionate in that. So I did
Yeah,
these
and
projects and
I was
publication.
right, and I was going to point that out as well. Like you have completely transformed your profile to someone who is into BA or DA or data science,
Yeah,
right? Like you are embracing the fact that yes, I come from electronics and these are the projects I did for that, but I also did all this thing which is related to data science and business analytics, and that's why I'm a good fit for this program. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I didn't want to lose my electrical part of it because I had done it for 4 years and then I had done some applications and amazing projects and then got a distinction. And then I didn't want to show that I wasn't good fit for business analytics. So I thought I need to put something. And then I took a 6 weeks training on Internship. It didn't cost much. People can try that out. It would cost you around 4,000 rupees. And then they'll give 6 weeks training on basic skills required for data science.
Hmm.
And then these
Nice.
were my extracurricular activities because like in United States these are very important.
Yeah.
And then like back in India it might not like our university, some of only very few universities offers these extracurricular activities, but then like feel free to participate so to make your profile stand out. So like
Hmm.
they have this separate, I mean like everything has weightage, not only your technical skills but then your extracurricular activities, or if you have some medals in some sport, so that will add a lot of value.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
obviously
then
you
at the end,
landed. Yeah.
yeah, at the end I said why master's degree is important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's roughly 2 pages, looks like, and then roughly 1,200 words.
What's yeah,
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you shared, and it is from the structure point of view. You start with a rough intro, like who you are,
yeah,
and like a big vision, right? Like throughout, like how did you build the interest of data science? Then you deep dive into what you've done so far, electronics background. You're showing that, and then how you have changed your profile to data science and how it aligns to the coursework, and then you kind of wrap it up by saying like here's why masters is important, and like how I like how this is important and how
I'll
this
be good.
UConn will be good fit plus help me with my future career. So great. Yeah. Thank you for sharing this. Now, let's talk about something very important, which is paisa. I mean, money. So, how much did it cost? And I know we talked about a lot in terms of your shortlisting that you've primarily focused on the area, like you focused on California, New York, Texas. And then based on that, you chose the universities. Then you saw the weather-wise, Arizona is not good fit, and blah blah blah. And some of them gave you prerequisites. So that was cost at all a factor for you to decide, or you're like, I don't care. I'm a millionaire. I can afford whatever.
I wish I'm not a millionaire, but then yeah, cost was a factor. But then when I told about masters to my parents, they were like, "What's the budget? Like the you're thinking?" Then I mentioned for the fees alone, I was expecting, I would think it would cost around like 40 to 45 lakhs maximum. Then they were like, how do you think, do you want to pay? Then I was like, I have no idea. And then they mentioned, okay, it's fine. We'll put our house for it. You don't have to worry. But then make sure that you get into good college and then like, don't like do your best when you go there. So I had my family support, like they supported me a lot. And then like,
yeah, so it sounds like again, if you think about priorities, right? Like so you first shortlist them, then out of shortlist you go for an admit, then you have an admit, now you have to choose something. And so
yeah,
I'm guessing from the choosing perspective, for me cost was like number one. Like it has to be cheap. Like if it is like 50 lakhs, I just can't afford it. For me, that was the case, right?
yeah,
But I think sounds like for you that wasn't like the first thing, because you
yeah,
weren't too worried about it. You were worried about it, but not like if it is expensive, I'm okay because I
no,
want to have the good
I
experience.
wasn't that particular about cost, but then I just put a threshold of not crossing 50 lakhs for my university. So then
Right.
I'm like, I mean, once I get a job, I'm sure that I can repay it in 1 to 2 years. So then I was like, why did I have to like settle down for like, if it's a good university, I'm okay with spending more money. And then if it's not up to the mark, I'm like, I can't even spend 1 lakh on it. So
Got it. Okay.
that was the thought process.
Right. Okay. So how much does UConn cost? Like what was the I-20 amount?
I-20 amount was around $50,000. I think yeah, $50,000 was the I-20 amount for that, including expenses for 9 months.
for for 9 months. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's just
Connecticut.
one year. So you the course was obviously 2 years, but and then how much did you end up like spending in it, including you? Let's talk about cost of living as well, and then we'll total it up. What was your cost of living expenses?
I spent around $1,200 to $1,300 per month, including rent and my expenses and groceries and stuff. My rent was around
Wow.
$630 per month, and then I used to share a room with a roommate, and then we were 7 people living in a 4 bedroom apartment, so it was quite expensive. So yeah, Connecticut. Welcome to Connecticut.
Wow, I didn't know it was that expensive. I mean, usually I've seen like 600 to 800, 600 to $1,000 as an expenses, but 1,200 to 1,400 is pretty pricey, and especially you're still sharing the room.
Yeah,
Um, I don't
our
know
flat
you
was
if
4,000 per month.
wow.
That's the
Yeah,
cheapest in the city.
I don't know if you've watched my videos, but like my rent was $225,
Yeah.
and I had my personal bedroom with my bathroom. So, so obviously the times have changed for people who are coming to Chico. Like that's not how much it is, but it's also not $630. It's $400. So you still get your
Yeah.
private bedroom. But regardless, okay. So that was your cost, so roughly 1,200 or so. You spent about 16 months on your master's program.
Yeah.
So 3 semesters, was it 3 semesters? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you finished that. So how much did you end up spending total? Because in the first semester, if I remember, you didn't have on campus
But
job. We'll talk
yeah,
about that too. But so how much what was your total expenses?
it came around to 60 to $70,000 at the end. Like my fees was around $45,000, and then I had spent around 20,000 or 15 to $20,000 on my expenses for in the 15 months. So it ended up
Okay.
with by like at $65,000, including the flight tickets and then everything, and then
Okay,
my
so
shopping
roughly
coming to the
50
United
lakhs,
States.
which was your budget
Yeah,
anyway. So it kind of stayed under that threshold, and obviously you took a loan, which sounds like it sounds like you had a collateral as your
yeah,
property. So nice. Okay, and you've just graduated. It's been 4 months. You obviously have a very nice job, data lead data analyst. Do you feel confident Because at the time you were doubtful and you didn't know whether I'll be pay off. Now, do you feel confident that you will be able to pay off?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Like whoever's listening to this video, don't have any like negative thinking about the money. So I'm sure that I'll be paying off this loan by next December. I mean,
Hmm.
unless you spend it in limit, like with your
Yeah,
expenses, if
unless
you
you
have
buy
those in your
like a
hands,
Tesla or
you can
something.
spend. Yeah, exactly. So everyone can pay off their debt in like 2 years max. Like you don't have to like say starting salary of each employee would be $70,000. If you spend 50% of your salary for your like trips and everything, you're left with $35,000. So like that's like
Yeah.
$70,000 in two
Yeah,
years, which is like
right.
60
And
lakhs.
just to give a little bit more perspective, you will not get $70,000 because you will
Yeah,
have to pay tax.
yeah,
But because you are on OPT, you will pay like maybe 15 to 18% tax, depending on the which state you are in. Because some state you don't have to pay state tax at all, so you save money there as well. But so yeah, but yeah, overall theme I've heard from a lot of students I've met who took, like, people who went to Ivy League universities
I,
who paid $100,000. Even ASU has $100,000 fees. They are still able to pay off. So I'm sure you will be able to
exactly.
pay off. So, and this is the reason try to ask, so that parents and students feel confident in making that decision. So okay, good. Now let's talk about visa interview. I mean, how was that? Was it like you entered and visa officer was like, "Oh, UConn, please, congratulations, your visa is approved"? Or like, what was your experience and what
That was
questions did
my
they?
embassy experience. And then coming to my visa experience, I had like interview for like 1 minute. Like I had like only three questions: which university, and then what were your finances, and then what courses did you like would you want to take in your first semester. That's it.
Mm,
And then it was less than a minute.
nice. So were you prepared for what courses you want to take in the first semester?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Like I was just prepared for the first semester because, and then uh yeah, like first and courses are like something that everyone needs to have a look at before you get into university, because like that's how you feel confident or underconfident. Like if you are good with what you are gonna take, you'll feel a lot better in upcoming semesters. But if you feel low, and then if you choose the wrong courses in the first semester, you'll feel bad about United States or the college, and then you'll feel that you might not be a good fit. So make sure you do your research before choosing the courses in your first semester.
Right. And for the finance question, you probably just said like, I'm taking a loan. Is that?
Loan, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And then
Okay.
I mentioned that I have a loan of 50 lakhs and then my personal expenses of 10 lakhs. Yeah.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. Um, Now comes, you got the golden words. Congratulations, your visa is approved. What is the things you did right as soon as your visa got approved? Like, how much time did you have from the visa getting approved till going to the unit? Was it like a month or so?
Yeah, I had around 45 days. I got my visa approved in November second week. And then I flew in the last week of December. So I had like 40 to 45 days in between.
Hmm.
So right after my visa got approved, the first thing I did was like the very next day I booked a flight ticket to United States to JFK. And then next thing was like started shopping a lot, like what to buy, and then like what not to buy, and then what to take, what not to take. And then like I started meeting my friends and families in different parts of India. So I
Hmm.
thought I'll meet them before I leave to United States. So like
Hmm.
mostly it was like that, like shopping, and then yeah, and then finding roommates, and then making connections, or like finding rooms, finding roommates, and then all this stuff, flight tickets, and then who's gonna pick me up once I land there. So all this.
Nice. So let's
Eh,
let's deep dive just a little bit in it. How did you find roommates? How did you find your apartment? And then how did you figure out? Because I think not a lot of people figure out like, I landed, and then who's gonna take me from airport to the apartment?
University.
Or university, yeah. So how did you do these three things?
So coming to roommates thing, so I started joining in a lot of WhatsApp groups. The links I found them on Yocket app. So like if you don't have the app, install it. Like there'll be a lot of groups. You can join them and then ask the students if you have any group for this university. Can you send it? Like most of the people will send it, and you can join them. Finding roommates was not a problem, and then finding room was the problem.
So what was the process like? Did you just go online and started looking up, or did you reach out to seniors to find the apartments? Like, what was your process?
So as I mentioned, I've joined the WhatsApp groups. I had some help from the seniors, like they were already there in the groups. So they helped some, like they told me what places to look and what websites to look. One of them was apartments.com, then the other was suleka.com. Like both these are like pretty famous and they're pretty like trustworthy. I mean, like websites are trustworthy, but then the listings in the websites might not be. So do your
Right.
research.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of scams. Please, please be aware. Websites have legit listing, but there are people who wants to scam you. So once you find it, make sure you reach out to your senior or your university. Ask them like,
Exactly.
is this like really legit? Should I really pay the down payment? Because I think the process, at least in California, this is the process. Like, you would find a property, then you like, as soon as you like it, you'll have to put down security deposit,
Yeah.
and that could be $1,000 to $1,500. And I mean, in Connecticut, might be more because the rent was $4,000. So it's typically your whatever the rent is, that's the deposit amount
Deposit.
usually. So then you would have to put down. So if you don't know if the people who are putting it is legit or not, you will lose that money. So you don't want to, right? You don't want to lose that money. So make sure you do your research before you pay the deposit.
Exactly. And when you
Um,
reach out to them, you can ask for a virtual tour. So they will be more than happy to video call you or FaceTime or send a Gmeet link, whichever works for both of you. You can schedule a like, video call with them. Like don't be hesitate, don't hesitate to ask for a video call because you're paying lakhs of money and then like you're investing a lot. So it's
mm.
better not to get scammed.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, my biggest advice is always reach out to your senior for making sure you're not going into an area which is like shady. Like it's not
FT.
so far away from your university, and all of like, and it is legit or not. And then you ask all the questions to your apartment manager and like do the tours and all of that. So cool. Okay, so that's the process. You found it. You did went and meet your parents and family, and you did the shopping. You got ready for it. Obviously, you in your world, you were already like preparing your profile for data analyst before, because you took that gap of 6 months. So from career perspective, you were also like kind of preparing in a way. Now comes the day of like you're flying, and it's an exciting day. So how was your feelings like? Oh, like what were your thoughts at that point of time?
Like to be honest, I didn't want to board the flight at that moment. Like
Mm.
when I was at the airport, like leaving. I mean, like we were like 15 people. Like my dad's side of family, mom's side of family, and then all of us were there. Like who were really close to me, and then seeing all of them at once at one place, I was like, should I go? And
Mm.
then I thought of the investment or the happiness that I've seen in everyone, or like happiness that I had during the process, and I had to take a decision. So I was like, I'll take the flight. And then like I cried for 2 hours or 3 hours in the flight too. But then yeah, it's worth it
Wow.
now when I think about it. I'm a total different person right now. Like I was an introvert. Now it's all different. Yeah, like I feel a lot better right now. Like I learned how to be independent. I was so dependent on my mom and
Mm.
my dad.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
it's all
yeah.
different. So US will teach
Yeah,
a lot.
and again, like this is another thing I say to people. It's not just about like career, right? Like it's not just career growth. You personally will grow. Like there's a lot of self growth happens. Same with me. I was an introvert kid. I couldn't like speak in front of people, but now I can. And I was also dependent on my parents, and like luckily now I have independence. Like I'm on my own feet and taking care of my bills and paying all this thing. So there's like a lot more life skills you will learn, other than the hard skills which you obviously will learn through your career. So um,
Exactly.
what was your
US will teach you a lot.
yes, yes, what was your port of entry interview? Was there anything for UConn, or like what was the interview like?
It was very simple. Like I have gone, like I came out of the flight and then we were at the port of entry and then I gave my passport and all the documents and then he was like, oh, UConn, all the best. That's all.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. UConn obviously is very popular, so that's probably what happened. Nice. Cool. So now, what was your first week look like? Like, what did you do? What did you spend time on? Or like, yeah.
Yeah, for first 2 to 3 days, they were like done in jet lag, so we couldn't wake up. Like we slept for almost 15 to 20 hours a day, so we didn't know what the time was, and then get
Get
used to it.
adjusted.
And then
Yeah.
once we were in the track,
Mm.
we took SIM cards and then bank accounts, and then took pictures with the university. And yeah, these were the things. Oh, bank account, and then get a credit card which doesn't require a SSN, and then get a SIM card for sure. And then if you check if your mobile is working in the United States or if it's compatible or not. So to the networks, and then these are like 4 to 5 things that I have done in the first 2 weeks,
Mm.
and I
Mm.
get some
Okay.
groceries from India if possible. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So you
yeah,
probably just, yeah, like getting settled basically is what you spend time on. And then what about the coursework? Like when did you had to register for the classes for your first semester? Did you do it before coming to India? I mean, you to United States, or did you do it after you landed?
I have done it after I landed in United States. So I had some, like, the deadline was not in December. So my course started on Jan 18, but then I was in United States on December 24th. So I had like 25 days to settle down and then take courses. So I thought, I mean, I had chance to take the courses back in India. So I thought it's better to do it in person with my friends or like future friends. So all of us were in United States, and then we saw the curriculum once again, and then we like talked out our opinions on each course and professors. So we took some like 5 courses in the first semester.
Hmm. Let's talk about like coursework, because one of the beautiful part about studying in United States is you get to decide what your coursework looks like. You get to design it. You get to pick your courses. You also sometimes, if the university is too big, you get to pick the professor you want to take for a specific course. So how did you decide what courses you wanted to take? Obviously you knew in your back of your head that I want to become data analyst, data engineer, data scientist. So what how did you decide like these are the courses I'm going to take? And if you can even walk us through the curriculum, like, okay, these are 37 credits I need to take, here's how I broke it down.
Yeah, sure. So first thing, like for UConn, like you need to have some prerequisites. I mean, like if you want to take advanced courses, you need to do some prerequisites in your first semesters in order for you to be eligible to those advanced courses. So in the first semester, I had two prereqs, and then the other three were core. So let me walk you through my curriculum. So here it is. Okay, this is the curriculum for UConn. Like this is
Yep.
the name of my degree, Masters in
Nice.
Business Analytics and Project Management, and then my concentration was data science. Yeah. So coming to the analytics, these are the courses that have in analytics part, and then these are the courses which comes under project management. And that is
Based on the course you could take, so project management is a concentration is my guess.
yeah, it's part of the like out of the 37 credits, project management was around 12 credits. The rest 25 were related to analytics or data science, or
Okay.
like they do have different concentrations that you can choose courses from. So it's
Okay, got
combination
it.
of tech world and management world.
Okay. So technically you could become a project manager if you wanted to, from your,
Exactly.
and you could also become technical project manager, technical program manager from this coursework. Obviously it's heavy on analytics side, so that is all covered. All right, cool. Keep going.
And then these are the electives, and you can also choose the concentration. And then coming to concentrations, there are like 5 concentrations that you can choose from. I chose the business data science. So for that, you need to take 3 electives from this. So I had taken introduction to deep learning, data science using Python, and then big data using Hadoop. So these are my
Hmm.
3 electives. So I got this concentration. So if you have something in mind, like you're from marketing background or you're from actuarial background, or if you want to get into these fields without having experience or something, you can
Hmm.
just give it a try. And then there's something called healthcare analytics also, which is like very it's important in United States. Like there are a lot of opportunities in healthcare.
Yeah. I mean, you are
and I work
working in one of
as
the biggest healthcare insurance companies, so
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting that talent analytics is such an interesting topic. Like, if someone wants to become like an HR or something, like,
Yeah, there are like
wow.
6 tracks that you can choose from, and then there's supply chain too. So you need to choose 3 electives from these 4 courses to get this concentration. So it's like
Mm,
there are different tracks that you can choose from. This is one of the things that got me. Like you have the flexibility to become or choose whatever courses you want from different streams. Like, or else if you don't want any concentration, you can choose one from this, or two from this, and one from that. So
mm,
if you want this title to be there on your degree, you need to take 3 from this or 2 from this, as they mentioned. So if you do not want any concentration, you're fine to take with. You can you can mix and match.
okay, nice. Okay, cool.
And there's other tracks. Maybe these are the new ones. Oh, there are certification programs that if you want to do. Yeah, without the master's program, I guess. Yeah.
Mm. Can you go back to the core curriculum? Okay, and then scroll down. So 13 courses you have to take, right? Like, you have 37. Can you scroll just a little bit? Up, scroll up. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. So it says 3 semesters, 13 courses you have to take. So out of 13 courses, which one did you took? What was your like exact 13 courses?
So in my first semester, I had DBMS, which was SQL, and then statistics using R, and then I had predictive modeling, which was like machine learning, and then I had this technical communication, business analytics, and project management, which is a 1 credit course. And then the other one I chose from project management, which is introduction to project management. So these were the 5 courses
Mm,
that I had in my first semester.
got it.
And then later on,
So,
I started to
eh,
choose the electives.
right, just to give breakdown for audience, he took 5 courses, which is a lot actually, but 2 of them sounds like it was 1 credit course. Is that correct?
Only this was 1 credit.
Okay, only that
The
one
rest
was.
4 were core. Like it was like 13 credits in first semester.
Okay, so 3 credits for each one of them. So
Yeah,
that's why it's a 12 credit plus 1 credit course.
one.
So total 13 credits. Okay, got it. And then obviously you took, what was your second semester?
I did a semester in summer also, but it's not counted as a semester. But then I had taken 3 courses in my summer, and then 3 in my fall, and then 2 in my spring again. In
Mm,
the summer, I had taken business decision modeling, and then I took data science with Python, which was part of business data science concentration. And then I had one more from this, which was project risk and agile methodologies. So 3
okay.
in summer.
Got it. Okay. And again, for people who don't know, he didn't have on-campus job for the first semester. That's why he was able to take this many courses in the first semester. Just to give context, like, people will go crazy, do 5 courses and then also do 20 hours on campus job. It's going to be too much to handle, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, and Sai is like also robot and machine, so that's a different story. But yeah, no, this is awesome. And now, obviously, last semester you finished taking more from your data science, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And in the last semester, I had this capstone project. I took it in fall because I didn't want it to be in the last semester because I wanted my last semester to be for job search. So I didn't want to stress myself. So I took it in the fall semester, the capstone project. And
Mm,
then I put the easiest ones for the last semester, or else
mm,
the ones I knew already. So I wanted my last semester to be free, and like, I didn't want much stress or much work to do, as I wanted to focus on my job search.
mm. And for people who don't know, as well, like, summer, you could do an internship, you could do a semester like he did, or you could go back to India. I would never recommend you to go back to India. I would use
Yeah,
that time to actually
exactly.
do it. But okay, or not India, but like any country you're watching from. All right, let's talk about on-campus job. Obviously, you didn't have it in the first semester, but then you did have teaching assistantship. Um, What is teaching assistantship, and how did you get it?
So for the first 2 semesters, I didn't have a part time, but in the third semester, which is like second semester officially, which is fall, so I had two part times. Like one was tutoring, like I was a math tutor. I used to teach math to undergrads, like in the like algebra, statistics, and everything. The other was teaching assistant. I mean, the teaching assistant I got it in the last semester, but then for the third semester, uh, I had math tutor, which was like I had only for 10 hours a week, so it wasn't stressful. So
Hmm.
in the third semester, I had some course which is in the first semester I had one course which is SQL. So the professor, like I started like I used to answer questions when he has to like ask questions and answer the questions that he asked us. So we had a good rapport. And then in the third semester, I took another course with the same professor, which is like data science with Python. He taught us very well all the machine learning concepts and everything. So then I started talking with him, like we became so close, and then I started answering, like excelling in the assignments and everything. And at the end of the semester, I sent an email saying that, like, professor, I would love to work with you, I have learned a lot from you. So then he was like, would you be interested in becoming my TA? So I was like, okay, I'm in for that. So I
Hmm.
became the TA for SQL in the final semester, and then I had another part time which was like math tutoring. So I was doing two part times in my last semester.
Hmm. And for people who might have not watched the first video, that's where he talked about why he decided to not do the part-time jobs or on-campus jobs, and I mean, invested that time on building his profile and preparing himself, like doing the full-time job. So go again, check out that video
Please.
if you haven't already. Cool. So that's awesome. And then let's talk finally about, like, obviously we saw the coursework, and it looks like there's so many roles you people could get, depending on the courses. They could get into supply chain, they could get into marketing analytics and marketing analyst, business analyst, data scientist, analyst, project manager. So which I mean, you obviously chose the data analyst route. What is the, not a placement, but like, what is the job market like look like? Do people who graduate from UConn end up having a job? How
I
long
wouldn't
is it?
generalize it to UConn. So, like, say you have graduated from Harvard, and then if you can't do the work, you will not get job. You'll not get a job, obviously, for sure. Like, there's no doubt in that. Say you have graduated from normal university, and then if you can do the work, you'll get the job for sure. Like, be it 200K or 300K, companies are ready to pay for you. So it doesn't depend on the college that you have graduated from. It depends on what you know and then what you don't know. If you can do the work or if you can't do the work. So, like, this is something I say to a lot of people, like, never, the college brand matters, but then it matters only when you can do the work.
Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. I 100% agree. Even people who study in Chico State, which is like very low rank university compared to like all the other universities, they still have jobs from Tesla and Google and Microsoft. So it's not the brand; it's like what you do during your masters and how you build your profile is what's going to get you the job. So, final kind of questions is, would you recommend people to go to UConn? If yes, why? And if no, why not?
I would recommend people going to UConn only if they should be willing to do 37 credit course, and then they should be fine with lot of expenses. And then getting a part time might be difficult in the first semesters because it's a business school, and then the main campus is like 200 miles from the business school. So you would not have the campus life. I had my I had a good campus life back in bachelor, so I wasn't concerned about the campus life. So if you're fine with all this, UConn is a good choice. Like, I would say no if you're like the city might be expensive. You'll spend at least $1,000 a month, including your rent, expenses, and like New York is like 20 miles away. You would go there often. So
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
considering these like part time and then money things, if you think you want to spend less, and then if you can't, or like there's for some reason money is a problem or part time is important for you, I wouldn't recommend. And if you like campus, if you want campus life, I wouldn't recommend. Like, apart from these basic reasons, coming to professional like career or opportunities. It's very good university. The professors are amazing. I mean, I can't thank enough. Like they have supported me a lot. Like coming without, I have transitioned from electrical to data science, and then the help I received, they even referred to me in their companies. And then like one of the professors, I got referred by her husband also in her husband's company. So they're
Mm,
very helpful. So like
mm,
just make sure you have good connections with professors, not just this university, any university.
mm.
And then yeah, like networking is very important.
Yeah, yeah. Again, we've talked about how to get a job, transition, and all of that on that other video. You should go check it out. But again, awesome. What's the one tip would you like if you were to only give one advice to people who are planning to do their masters, study abroad in United States? What is the one thing would you want them to know?
Yeah, like I wouldn't. So one tip would be don't overstudy, don't over enjoy, and then don't overspend. Like spend,
Mm,
enjoy, steady. So make sure it's balanced. You don't have to earn thousands of dollars when you're doing your masters. You can earn a lot more when you once you get a full time. Like it might take 6 months when you are doing your masters, but you can earn it in 1 month. So don't overdo your part time. Don't over enjoy. Don't overstudy. Like do
mm,
everything, but then just make sure you're balancing it. You'll meet
mm,
a lot of amazing people. US will teach a lot. Not it doesn't teach you only the technical part of it, but then you'll learn how to live independently. You'll find different people with different mindsets, and then yeah, you'll find good people, bad people. That's everywhere. But yeah, it'll teach you a lot more than getting a job or like networking or enjoyment.
Yes, love it. I love it. All right. I can't wait to do this again because next time we're going to talk more deep depth of data analyst and roadmap to become a data analyst. So subscribe if you haven't already. And again, thank you, Sai, for such an like we went through the whole memory lane and exploring your master's journey. So thank you again, and until our next one.
Keep smiling, keep hustling.
Nice.